In the last episode, we helped out in a coral planting project, but this time we were in search of perhaps the most spectacular coral we had ever seen.
You and me, we're family. The bond that we share is as deep as the sea. No matter how rough things may come to be, you and me, we're family. Sing ho.
So we're heading more west now towards the west side of Fiji, but we got to go through the Coro Sea. So leaving Tavanoi, we're heading for this island called Coro Island, and it's very green and lush. It looks beautiful. So we've got no idea what it's going to be like, but that's the nature of sailing.
So we're on Coro Island, Tulani Harbour, and there's a couple of jetties sticking out and a couple of buoys in the middle, mooring buoys in the middle. There's kind of like a communal area. It looks like a resort, but it's actually a communal area for allotments which are around the island. I think somebody was saying there's 400 plots of land, but there's only about 12 people occupying them. It's a bit of an estate, but all of the houses is kind of self-built and self-sufficient and self-reliant, so all running off rainwater and solar and living off their own produce, which is really cool actually. We also went to the sand island over there, which is just basically a patch of sand in the middle of the sea.
Coro was most certainly a beautiful island, but we had a little further to go to find the Namina Reef, where we'd heard the coral was out of this world.
This is the kind of sailing that everyone wants, just a little bit more wind, and we could sail without the motor on. We've only got 4 knots, it's not really enough to sail. Okay, yeah, so the wind picked up just a little touch, just enough to turn the engine off and sail at just 4.5 knots. That's fine, we've only got 20 miles to go. It's nice, flat, calm so far. So yeah, this is a good sail. Actually, that's Jimmy's Knob, it's called. Right, that's Jimmy's Knob, which is just to the left here. It looks like it might be a bommy.
Good forward.
They are dangerous, they are dangerous. No, they're not dangerous. There was a snake!
This small island in the middle of Namina Reef seemed to be taken over by hermit crabs.
We arrived yesterday on the island, and there's like a little cut through that takes you onto some secret little beaches on the other side.
Where are you off to, Woody?
Exploring.
So we've kind of found a path that sort of leads through this island. No idea where it goes. These hermit crabs seem to have eaten their way through the unripe papaya.
In fact, this island is the centre of a massive coral reef that goes all the way around, and there's only 2 entrances to the coral reef. One's on the north side and one's on the south. In fact, they're both called save attack passages because The coral reef is so vast that to go from the two major islands, you have to sail through the middle, or you've got to tack around the outside.
So if you walk through that little path, it actually brings you to this really nice beach. It's quite a sandy beach. I think this island definitely has a kind of Robinson Crusoe feel about it. So when you get to a beach or somewhere where there's really nothing else there but beautiful shells, and then you find this rock formation with lots of kind of caves inside it, mini caves, you just want to fill those caves with beautiful things, and that's what I've done basically, just been looking around this beach and finding such beautiful shells and placing them each with their own little ledge on this amazing rock face.
Boobies! Yeah!
Okay, Darren, you've got to come down, and down is harder than up.
Get the eggs, get the eggs. And we're going even further, it's like vertical there.
Oh God. That's quite vicious, isn't it? Well, two in there, two.
We saw some eels like crawling around on the wet rocks trying to catch crabs. It was incredible. I've never seen eels crawling across the floor before. The kids loved it.
No, Dad is chasing you. Dad is trying to chase you.
And then we decided to go to the outer reef, on the outside of the outer reef, which is supposed to be even more spectacular than the inner reef. And we took the dinghy out there with our friends on Festina Lente.
We're gonna go on a drift dive on the outer reef of this kind of atoll place.
There was this huge drop-off. Just on that drop-off, we kind of drift snorkeled all the way in through the passage. Well, I've never seen so much biodiversity in my entire life, anywhere, on land or at sea. And it was incredible. It was just the colours as well, because like a lot of it is between 3 and 5 meters. You still get all of the colours. You can still appreciate the colours because the sunlight can penetrate through the water surface at that depth, and it just shows off the coral in all of its glory. In fact, as we were snorkeling around, we saw a white-tipped shark sort of swim underneath us, and then a bit further on there was other reef sharks started to gather, and about 5 or 6 of them started approaching and circling. Anyway, once we satisfied their curiosity and they realised that we weren't food, they carried on. But even then, it was, you know, it was kind of quite a thrill to see them. That's definitely the best snorkeling experience I've ever had anyway. We were watching one of the David Attenborough films last night on the coral reefs, and it looked almost exactly like what we were seeing under the water.
Wake of the storm, I was shaken, I was reborn. I got another shot to make it to the top today. I'm pulling up the suture.
I finished the book and now I'm showing like my love for it.
I'm ready for the slings and arrows and the fortune's lost. And there's a voice that's buried deep inside my head.
We cannot express how grateful we are to be in a place like this together with our friends.
Hey, I got another chance. I was living like a zombie.
When I was running, I was just, well, not running, I was just walking. And then suddenly I went into this like turn area and I just saw like all of those black and white snakes, the sea snakes, like this big, I don't know how, yeah, like around that big. And I ran back because those are poisonous. So I found this on the way back. I found this on the way there. This one's the best. It's like a spiral. And I found this. Like an inside of the shell.
Drowning in pity, like a lost goodbye. I was fading in the sky alone.
So we just got back off the beach, and I was in the engine bay, and I noticed that one of the wires has obviously got wet and corroded, and then obviously burnt out, and that was from the water pump, which is a bit worrying. So I'm going to replace it. I need to basically put it into something better than a chock block. I need to kind of put it into some sort of waterproof connector. It's been on the list for a long time but never got to the top of the list, as these things never do. But that's just a warning sign.
What would have happened?
Well, it could have burnt out. I mean, technically it could have caused a fire down there.
So yeah, I mean, it's like these things that you kind of go and chill out on the beach a bit, watch the sunset, and then suddenly you get kind of these things happen on a boat because it's water, electricity everywhere, really. And I feel like we've had quite a few lucky narrow escapes recently, because something else we found recently, I think it was the furler, the forward furler. We found that recently and just managed to catch that before it got too bad. But yeah. It's good. It's good that Woody's got it and he's sorting it out now just before dinner. This is dinner. Curry.
Good job. I mean, it's always worth doing an engine check, not just because of the oil and water levels, but just have a look around and the smell even, because sometimes you smell a burning, or you can hear something. It's not quite right. And usually it's the early signs of something going horribly wrong. If you can catch it before it does go wrong, it can save you a world of pain.
People always say you've got to be a bit neurotic, don't you? And then check and check again and listen out and smell, and and you find these things, and you solve problems before they happen. It's really, it's so much nicer, even though it's horrible being down there. It's nicer, isn't it, doing it now rather than dealing with a fire tomorrow?
Yeah, it's amazing how much you rely on your other senses, not just looking around, but just smell and hearing. That's all night watches are about, really. It's like you can't really see anything, but you can hear things and you can smell things and feel things.
But that idea of using your other senses when you're sailing, because you obviously use it when you're sailing because you're always feeling the wind and you're feeling the boat, and it's very, you don't just start your car and go along the road and look out for traffic lights. It's very much you're feeling and watching things, and there's so many other ways you use all your different senses when you're on a boat. So you become super aware of everything. Sounds, even when you're asleep, is the anchor dragging and your anchor alarm, and you're always on alert, which can be really exhausting and tiring, but I think it's probably quite a healthy thing. It keeps you alive, I think.
And when it flashed before my eyes, I realized this is everything.
Thank you for watching and enjoying these videos. So if you're the type of person that would like to thank us in return, then you can simply click on the super thanks button below, or otherwise you can support us on Patreon and get more than just 4 videos a month from as little as $3 a month. We look forward to seeing you there.
Spotty sails and a golden flag. I said, hey, I had a dream.